I graduated a semester early, which at first felt like a huge relief. I was drowning in assignments and desperately needed a break. But once I had all that free time, I had no idea what to do with myself. My full-time job wasn't starting until June, and most of my friends were still busy with classes and finals, so I just floated around, stuck in this weird gap between two phases of my life. It left me feeling uncomfortable and honestly, kind of worthless. I'm the kind of person who always needs to be productive, so sitting around all day watching time crawl by was killing me. That's probably why I agreed when my mom asked me to check on my Uncle Rick's beach house. It seemed like an easy favor. Drive down to Rehoboth Beach, make sure nothing was leaking or broken, do a little maintenance so Rick didn't have to hire someone. I live in Pennsylvania, and Rick's house is in Delaware, so it's just a bit over a 2-hour drive. The place is huge, the kind of house that fits all 25 members of our extended family every summer when we pack it out with games, barbecues, and way too much drinking. It's not right on the beach, but tucked in a quiet neighborhood with tall grass and winding roads. I left on a random weekday afternoon, Thursday, I think. Not the best idea, since I hate driving at night. Everything in the house looked normal when I arrived. I walked through Rick's checklist, checked faucets, breakers, the property, but it felt strange being there alone. I'd never seen that house empty before, and the silence felt eerie. I let my mom know I'd stay overnight instead of driving back late, and she agreed it was a good call. That night I made food, scrolled on my phone, and got ready for bed. Since I had the house to myself, I claimed the master bedroom on the second floor with the massive walk-in closet and huge bed. Around midnight I drifted off. I don't know what time it was when I woke up, but I was jolted by a sound from the closet, like something moved inside. I was wide awake, but I didn't move. I was scared. My body could move, but I didn't want to. I just stared at the closet and tried to ignore it. Then it happened again. A thump, quieter this time. And that's when it hit me. I couldn't move anymore. It was like sleep paralysis, but real. Through barely open eyes, I watched as the closet door creaked open and a shadowy figure stepped out. It just stood there next to the bed, watching me. After what felt like forever, it turned and silently walked out. But instead of leaving, I heard its footsteps going upstairs to the third floor. That made no sense. There was no exit up there. Eventually, I snapped out of it, grabbed my phone, and called 911 in a whisper. I locked the door and waited. The police showed up fast, searched the house, but found nothing. I was in shock. I knew I'd heard the footsteps go up. I called Rick, who insisted they search again. On the second sweep, they found a third-floor bedroom window unlocked. One officer searched the backyard and spotted him. Some dirty bald man just sitting on the roof like he belonged there. He looked homeless, hadn't bathed in ages, and didn't say a single word as they arrested him. Police said he might have been squatting there for days, maybe longer. No one knows how he got in. I don't even want to imagine what could have happened if I had been sleeping in my usual room that night. The second story takes place at my buddy Mike's beach house on the Jersey Shore. His family's had it for generations, but it's mostly empty since his grandparents passed and the rest of the family lives far away. Mike invited me down one weekend in July. We weren't planning any wild parties, just a chill time at the beach. The house had that cozy old smell of salt and wood. We dropped off our stuff, grabbed food, then walked the beach. We met two girls our age, chatted, and exchanged numbers. Later that night, we found a quiet stretch of sand and relaxed. The next morning, we jogged the boardwalk, enjoyed the day, and decided not to go out partying that night. We were too tired. Around midnight, I woke up to a loud, piercing beeping like a smoke alarm. I woke Mike and we rushed upstairs to the third floor where the sound was coming from. No smoke, no fire. Eventually, I found the source, a strange black device under a pillow. It looked like a walkie-talkie with a blinking red light and a single switch. I flipped the switch, and the beeping stopped. Mike had never seen it before. We sat there confused, trying to figure out why it was there and how it had turned on. Then it hit me. The switch. It could only be triggered by hand. Someone was in the house. Mike called the cops while I locked the door. When they arrived and searched the house, they found every window upstairs wide open and the rooms ransacked. drawers dumped out, beds flipped. That room where I found the device had been turned upside down, but it was neat earlier. The police didn't find anyone. No prints, no explanation. We stayed the night, barely slept, and left early the next morning. I still can't explain how someone got in, or why they left that strange device under a pillow. The last story happened when I was 22 and living at home after college. My life was simple: work, gym, books, sleep. One weekend, my college friend Lindsay invited me and two others, Thea and Sabrina, to her family's private beach house. It was insanely nice, modern, high-tech, like something out of a spy movie. We all decided to stay in one room for fun and spent the first night drinking and stargazing on the private beach. That's when we noticed a flickering light in the distance. Turns out it was a group of guys walking with flashlights. They seemed our age, and when they reached us, they were friendly. We talked, drank, and eventually they invited us back to their place. I passed, wasn't in the mood, and went home. Around 3 a.m., Lindsay FaceTimed me screaming that Sabrina and Thea had been kidnapped. I grabbed her car, followed her directions, and spotted the SUV. I called the police and followed it at a distance. Minutes later, cops surrounded the car and pulled all three men out. In the trunk were Thea and Sabrina, tied up, bruised, terrified. They don't remember much, which might be a blessing. Lindsay had forgotten her purse and went back to get it. That's when she saw the guys throwing our friends into the SUV. That one mistake saved them. Turns out the house the guys were staying in wasn't even theirs. It belonged to an elderly couple who were out of the country. The men were arrested and are serving long sentences. It took me years to recover from the trauma. I stopped going to beaches, stopped trusting strangers, and even drifted from my friends for a while. But we're all okay now, even though that night changed us forever. And sometimes I still wonder, what if I hadn't gone home early?